Mr. Painter person.
Hey, how's it going?
Did Sarah sell?
It did.
It did, good, good. I thought I saw some people that looked like they may have bought it.
She was waiting for a building inspection, which she had her fingers crossed.
Good.
So hopefully all is well, and
They're gonna reactivate it as a restaurant?
I think it's gonna, what I heard the plan was for now was they're gonna close on June 15th and switch over like the computer and all, whatever they have to, but run it as Sarah's at least for a while,
To start it, yeah,
you know, because it'd be dumb to miss the whole season
yeah,
and just see how everything operates.
Yeah.
And like
Good.
that.
but she's relieved.
I think it's bittersweet.
Well, I know,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah,
gotta go over and see her.
yeah, gotta go early in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's usually there by 6:30, that's when I go down. Oops. So. It's not a touch screen. Oh, good. This is great. Kelly, say something. Just so I can see if the owl's working.
Okay.
Worked, perfect. All right, you guys.
And it kinda looks like Water Street, someone's gonna actually open that, I think, down by, past Reds on that same drive,
Down, say it again.
on that Railroad Avenue, I guess.
Right underneath,
Yeah.
like where Skylar was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looks like that's gonna actually happen.
Mhm.
They already applied for their license,
Good,
business license.
good for them.
What's it gonna be? An oyster place?
Oyster place and little bar, oyster bar.
Well, they spent some time on that building. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
It might
Yeah,
be.
he's been doing, I think he's working on it by himself, doing a little at a time.
Wow,
Yeah.
quite an undertaking.
But it was, well, he had it all leased out, ready to go, and did all kinds of work, and then something happened and they backed out.
Yeah.
So now we got somebody else going. Good. But that's oysters there, oysters down on with Shane down on the waterfront. I don't know who else is doing oysters. A lot of oysters.
I've tried it. It didn't work at my place, but maybe I didn't do it right. you
Well,
know.
they're very
I don't know.
trendy right now too.
What's that?
Oysters, trendy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it isn't Damascotta.
How are you?
Well, it's doing.
Well, thank you.
Good.
Yeah, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
So yeah, those are copies of the agenda. Hi, David. It is.
You guys don't have a public bathroom here anymore?
Yeah, just down on the corner, just go through the gate there.
Those are-
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So I have a question, Larry, do we know what ever happened to the oyster farmer that went down in whatever cove that was?
Never heard from him again.
Should we hear from him again, or, I mean, is there any reason to, or,
Well, he applied for everything with DMR, got everything all approved, just never did anything.
so, you know, we didn't do anything?
Yeah,
I
he never-
just wondered.
He never sent anything out, there's nothing down there.
There's nothing down there.
He Mr. King's been busy. Who? Mr. King. Yeah. Yep.
Well, since we have a quorum, let's get started. Just want to read through the minutes. See if there's any changes or corrections or
Haven't seen Dave for a few weeks, he's sick or what?
Who?
David?
No, it's senior night, his grandson's graduating from high school. Yeah, those track meets. They look good to you? Minutes look good to you?
Yeah.
Any changes? No, okay. Can I get a motion to approve? Frank? Second, Dick? Oh, great. Okay, moving on. So anything to report, harbor minister wise?
We're picking up, like a couple dog days, nothing major.
Okay. I put the, ghost warrant possible, using them for town warrants. You have the meeting when they
I don't-
come to.
Yeah, I don't foresee using them as town warrants, maybe the spot,
Mhm.
maybe the location, but not the mooring equipment itself. I'm waiting for a quote from Ted Christie on, beefing up some of the town warrants already, because, like I said last meeting, I found out that those aren't designed for big boats, and I've been putting big boats on,
The town moorings are?
yeah. I was, what'd they say, 25, 30 foot tops?
25, I think.
Yeah, so those aren't very big moorings. And they said it's because of the tackle and the chain. I think one of the blocks could go bigger, but it's got small chain. So Ted Christie's giving me a price on beefing up some of that chain and tackle to hold a bigger boat. And he called me today, but Callie and I were in training all day today, and I forgot to call him back.
Still. So, and you think that's something we could do for this season?
What's that?
Is that what we could do for this season, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think,
Update those.
you know, depending on what it is, how expensive it is, get that done. The other thing, you know, with the launch ramp fees, I'm getting a little bit of kickback from some of the mooring owners. They feel like, you know, they paid to register their mooring, they shouldn't have to pay a ramp fee, you know, where they're paying to register their mooring. My response to them was they probably should have come to the meeting, but, and talk about it, but it's only been 2 or 3 people that maybe reached out to me about that, had concerns about that. We went down today, we found out how bad the ramps were, and it's nothing that's gonna be addressed anytime soon. Dennis probably has more information on that, but, you know, so I don't know, do we hold off on charging them, doing the launch fees with that mess that's down there? They're talking about maybe one ramp not even use it, because it's not safe.
And then the docks are good, right?
The dog's
Can you
got, it's
not-
still usable, it's still usable, but, like I said, Dennis, I had to leave that meeting early to go to another meeting. And Dennis could probably update you better on that, but when I left, he was talking to Ted about blocking that left ramp off so that nobody could use it at
The
all.
left ramp is you're looking out at,
Yeah. Yeah, because it's too steep and the erosion is so bad there, somebody's gonna get hurt.
so does that mean maybe that the repaving has become more complicated?
No, what was talked about with the repaving was it's gonna be a Band-Aid. It's a temporary fix and that's when they paved it years ago, it was a Band-Aid and like Dennis has said over and over and over again, he's tired of just kicking the can down the road, gonna do it right. So there was talk this morning about, you know, re-asphalting it just to use it, but you're basically throwing 30 grand out the window to do that because it's just a temporary fix.
That's,
But then the grant's due in July, it gets awarded in August, And she said, even if we get the award, it probably wouldn't be done this year, but Dennis knows more about that than I do.
I think we need to do some planning here on some of the work that needs to be done down there, because it's getting to be kind of considerable every time we look at something.
And the longer we wait, the more it's gonna cost. I was just telling them about, you know, the one ramp, which there was talk about not using it. You know, I don't know if we want to delay those ramp fees until we get that fixed, and we're gonna charge them to use that. I mean, I don't,
I sort of thought we had the sort of unwritten rule that we wouldn't charge them to use a broken down one.
Well, we're gonna make bare minimum repairs to what needs to be done down there. Just to even make the stuff safe. I mean, there's so much erosion around that one float that if a boat, you know, if a boat trailer or vehicle goes off the edge of that, it's gonna be, you know, we've got to do something temporarily to make that better. So we're gonna do the bare minimum on that. And then Ted's gonna ask the engineering people that are working on the seawall to include additional engineering over by the boat ramps to try to stop the erosion that's going on over there too. So I don't want to dump a whole lot of money into it, knowing that we're gonna have to dig most of it out. Probably, I reached out to Marine Resources today for a little technical assistance, and you know, she definitely thinks that we should apply for the ship grant, which will help pay for the engineering that needs to get done down there. It won't pay for any of the construction costs, but it'll pay for the engineering, which, you know, is getting to be, which is growing in scope too. So we're gonna need some of those additional funds, because I don't think I can find it with our existing budgets to do all of this, so.
We don't see any kind of repairs being done on the pier, the seawall.
Not until it's engineered. I'm not gonna put any money into it till we know
This summer.
exactly what we need to
Right,
do. I don't see anything getting done this summer at all. No. I think it'll be another year. We had one estimate of, you know, $250,000 to $300,000 to do that work. And, you know, that's gonna,
That's out of sight.
yeah, that's gonna take some grant money. It's gonna take some planning. So
But the ship grant will pay for the engineering of this.
that's the purpose of the grant.
and the other grant, she says, pretty competitive.
You know, the grant for the launch ramps, she, what, $300,000, and they had 26 people, but 26 municipalities apply for it.
Hmm.
So
And that's for construction or for
that
engineering?
is for repairing.
Repair. And is that a ship grant as well?
No, that's a different grant.
Okay.
Is there any money available for working waterfronts?
Yeah, there's money out there. We just gotta figure out what it is we gotta do, and then we can chase the funds. But right now, I can get the funds to do the engineering.
Right.
And she did tell me today that, you know, we're better off if we know what our engineering costs are gonna be before we apply for the grant. And we're probably not gonna know that. I can't remember. I don't think those are on this agenda. I think they're on the 6th, and that grant's due on the 2nd, so.
Yeah.
I have to look at the agenda to be sure.
For the seawall,
Yeah,
for Mr. Gartley?
for whoever puts in on it. We didn't go with just one. We
Oh,
went with it.
Okay, okay, and that's due on June 2nd.
The grant's due on June 2nd. I can't remember if the RFPs are due the 6th or the 16th.
The 6th sounds correct.
I think they're due the meeting the 6th, along with a bunch of others.
Hmm.
So like everything that seems to happen to me, timing stinks.
One step forward, two steps back.
Yep.
But at least we're stepping.
I guess, I always feel like every time I go down there, we get further. I was looking at the shingles on the harbor master building down there today, and they're not looking all that healthy either.
Shingles? We can do that in half a day.
Mm.
Kelly, I can do that.
But we are gonna do some work on the ramps, just make them usable for at least this season.
Even the left one, if possible.
Do something with it. I mean, it wasn't that far out of.
The what?
It's a 15% grade that it is the maximum,
Yeah,
She's what, that's 17%?
yeah, the one on the right, yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean, it's not that far out of kilter anyway.
So if the ramps can get repaired for this season at some point, like by July 4th, just,
Oh, we'll be done before that.
okay.
C
So
and B wanted to know by today. So we're gonna tell them today, just, what
go for
what the bare minimum is, just get coated, get the holes filled in.
Okay, so we're implementing our new launch fees. We were thinking sort of, when should those be implemented?
I don't think we should do anything before July 1st.
No.
Give us some time to,
no, and if we're gonna temporarily fix that, I don't have an issue saying July 1, we start them fees.
I think if we're gonna fix it. I think we need, I mean, the purpose of the fees is to help pay for the repairs, so. But I do think we should probably hold off until the first, fiscal year to get, see how well this goes and then get all the whereabouts.
We still got to come up with the stickers and the decals and all that we're gonna do, and the signage down there. I gotta get with Ted on that.
Okay, is that anything that requires anything from us as far as motion or anything? No? Okay, good. And, so the policies are just pretty straightforward, right?
The harbor policies?
Yeah, the launching policies.
Yeah, do we have any?
Yeah, pay you $50, you can use it all you want.
Put your sticker.
Come on, knock yourself out.
So,
So that's what the town approved, right, Kelly? The $10 day use,
Yep.
the,
correct, the whole sheet,
Um,
and adding the $1,200 more, seasonal mooring, at least having it approved.
add the what?
The $1,200 seasonal mooring. So if somebody wants to, a mooring.
Oh, yes, yeah.
But they're just waiting to see if.
Yeah.
Insurance, what the town's liability would be for that.
I don't think it'd be any different than a regular boat anymore.
So they just wanted that added, even though we don't maybe have the moorings available yet. That's they wanted to do some of the ghost moorings. All right, so. Had our update on the launch ramp repair, that's great. Anything else, Dennis, that way?
No, I don't think so.
You think that's gonna start pretty quick?
I was gonna do something else. I'll go do it right after I forget again.
You think that those repairs are gonna start pretty quick?
Yeah, that's why P and B was pushing us, because his schedule was starting to fill up and he wanted to make sure that we didn't get it done.
Something, oh, we're gonna check on that.
Any updates on the Virginia?
Yes. They should be going in 2 weeks.
I see the porta potties, John.
Yes. They'll be going to the Marine Museum because the work on their facility is not complete.
Okay.
I put the sailboat on the PD Facebook page, the Harbor Master page, and my personal page. There's been a lot of people sharing it and comments about it, but Dennis wanted me to check, there are sails in the boat, so that makes it more valuable, I think. The sails, they could be worth something.
So I saw it out on the town sign too.
What's that?
It's out on the town sign too. For
Oh, yeah, I didn't
sale,
even notice that.
sailboat. And I thought, well,
Is the boat out by Charles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the second one.
Yeah, I was wondering, but,
Yeah, the one with the for sale sign on it. But I don't know what we're gonna do because he wants everything gone by June 1st. So what do we do if that boat don't sell?
What do you have for 1,000 or best offer?
I think he's got 1,200 at best offer, but I think if somebody offers $700, he can take it. But,
Is it on a trailer?
no, it's on jacks up there.
So you gotta have somebody coming home.
I mean, worst case scenario, we just put it up to the town property, but yeah, it's gonna charge gonna cost another $300 to do that, but at least it's up there and out of the way and if it has a slow day someday, you can go up with an excavator and demolish it.
The same, but, you know,
Did it float?
Oh, yeah,
It was all floating, wasn't it?
yeah, there it goes. It's full of water right now, because of rainwater and stuff, but, it's full of water. Bud's gonna pump it out. Bud got it.
Yeah, make a great rig for someone.
Yeah, I don't think, I mean, the more I look at it, the better it looks.
Well,
I mean,
and,
the mast is there, the sails
Yeah.
are there,
and you can sleep on
yeah.
it, which is,
All the cushions are intact and all worked up.
wonder if we could auction it.
too bad. It really is too bad, because someone that could get into something like that inexpensively, and it is.
We could go put it on town lawn and do an Airbnb.
That is exactly what I was just thinking.
Yep.
Except we have all these new
Yeah,
rules.
you
about-
wouldn't have the, you wouldn't be able to pay the insurance probably, somebody get.
Right.
Wouldn't that be a water Airbnb?
What? A water-
Can we turn it into a casino?
You do whatever you want.
All right, let's skip over the pump out status unless somebody here knows about,
The sale.
I think Dennis might be the only one.
Got for sale.
The dock assistant thing.
The document, basically, I just wanted to share with the rest of the committee about what happened last week with John's presentation to the select board. You were here last meeting, right? And he shared about what he was going to present to the select board, and then we said, go for it. And it went over very well. In your little packet, there's a description of what he presented. And as far as the job description and duties, who will figure all that out? Is that something you need one of us to be a part of, or?
I don't know that, I mean, if somebody wants to go down there and volunteer and do so, I don't know that I want to come up with a list of duties for them.
So probably, I would guess John's probably gonna come up with some sort of outline.
Yeah, I mean, I know Dennis talked about a credit card machine because he didn't want them taking money,
Right.
which Callie and I agreed with.
There was something about they
They can't take the
volunteers
money
can't take
unless
cash.
they're bonded or something.
John Davis was supposed to write all that up, I thought.
Yeah, I think he was.
So there's something like they can put it in an envelope and then walk it over to the little
Yeah.
Dropbox or
Right.
something.
Yeah. And that's all in place down there, the envelopes are all there.
Yep.
I think, what about the pump out? What about that $5 fee? Is that something they're gonna put in the
I
Dropbox as
think
well?
that's gonna work the same way.
We should get some smaller envelopes.
We'll talk about that. Don't worry, you pretty little head.
I just want to get into it. Here and now.
You volunteered?
She only volunteers.
Okay, and then, at the last select board meeting, the Pleasant Street extension, that was the road towards Island to the bridges where there's parking now. That's also in your packet. It was presented, Leslie Roberts presented an idea to make it a little like park area. And plants that will survive seawall, salt water, things like that. Walkway, kind of pretty it up and like that. And the select board thought that was a great idea too. Apparently, is it Main Coast Heritage Trust, or she's working with some group, couple of groups to get grant money to.
I think that's a good idea.
I just wanted to share that that's going on. The only question I have about using that space, and she said that there would still be parking on the side of the road. What's that street that goes down around there?
It's a terrifying place to park.
Okay,
It would be a terrifying place to park.
well, yes, and that's the thing.
Well, maybe she's
it's
talking
a lot-
about off the road into that dirt parking lot a little bit.
A little bit like,
Like
Yeah.
like that.
3 or 4 cars could park right there at the end of the road.
Oh, and going in straight, not parallel with the road,
Right,
not along the road.
Yeah.
Okay.
that was the impression I got.
Well, yeah,
The first car who parks there will determine how the rest of them park.
Sure. Sure.
Someone will park on
Because
there.
that's what my concern was, is because a lot of times boat trailers end up over there, you know, parked for the day or whatnot. And
I haven't seen a lot of boat trailers over there. I mean, I mean, that's where I tell them to go if we need overflow parking. But I don't
so you think,
foresee it with all the new launch fees and stuff. They're probably gonna go up to the ferry land. Is that what they say, right, ferry land?
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. That's what I'm
There's
hoping.
a lot of griping about fees.
Yeah, I'm hearing it too.
Lunch fees.
Is it on Facebook, on your site?
No,
July, they're griping on your.
Online more.
he pushed out an email to all the mooring holders, just letting them know that these fees exist, and we got some emails back in regards to it, and I'm sure that's kind of where people are hearing and finding it.
Did they think the fees were just way out of line, or they just mad about it?
I think that some of it is there was some confusion, which I think that we will clarify, that I think a lot of people think that they have to get this annual pass, when in reality, they can just pay a day fee to put their boat in, have their boat in the water the whole entire season, and then pay a day fee to get their boat out.
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit of confusion there, and that we talked about pushing out another email clarifying that.
And the day fee is like $10, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And that if you felt that you would be pulling your boat in and out more than 50 times, if you're a resident, 100 times, if you're a non-resident,
yeah.
then, you know, you would go to that next, you know, you'd pay the annual fee, so it would be more cost efficient for you.
But their thinking is that they pay their mooring fee, that should include the use of the ramp. You know, it should be all included in that, so they're paying, what are non-residents paying?
175.
175, then they gotta pay another $20 to put the boat in and out. They feel like we're paying to register more, and that should let us use the ramp.
it should.
And I kind of agree with that.
Well, for goodwill, why wouldn't you consider allowing, you know, two in and out, that's it, for their fee, the 175, within that, but anything over that,
Well,
so
I'm
that
pretty
you're
sure,
not taking advantage of it.
well, everything has already been voted on by the select board,
I know,
but with my discretion, I have discretion, right?
Yes.
yeah, every other administrator does. I would think you would. Why don't you just see,
I have a feeling that this will be revisited once we get through this first season and see how it goes and what happens.
the thing is, if you're getting a lot of flack for it, then you can get a lot of goodwill for working something out, and then we don't want flack at the waterfront.
Yeah.
You know, we just don't.
Well, the thing is too, is, you know, the good thing about getting the fees in order is I know like the mooring fees haven't changed since I had a mooring, that was 20 years ago, so it was $50, you know, and no launch fee, and, you know, times have changed. And things are gonna, if it's just a lot, I get it, you know, they're like, their mooring fees have gone up $25, and now there's a launch fee.
And I think everything's happening all at once, and it's just,
It's all,
Exactly.
yep, everything's just
Yeah.
changing.
I've had 4 people call the house about launching a boat, and they're all diggers.
Yeah.
And you know, I said, if you're gonna use it, you're probably better off doing 50. And I kind of thought we talked about that, and maybe it wasn't clear.
No, we did.
Well, I know, we did.
Yeah.
I know.
but it's more than 50 if they're non-resident.
Yes. Yeah, and it's mainly the digger that's using that ramp over and over and over and over, and then all the striper fishermen,
Right. A lot of diggers go up to the ferry land and
or
land
the
up there.
Westport,
Yeah,
yeah,
and they can do that. They don't want to do that because there's no cameras up there.
right,
And, you know, they, you know, get in their little turf things and get their tires slashed and all this and that.
yeah,
But I haven't really had that issue over here.
no,
I've had, I think, one one boat trailer down there before we got the cameras in, got his tire slashed. And,
And I know that one there, they cut the caps right off the truck. I was like, I couldn't believe it. That happened at the Berry Line.
yeah.
Cut the catalytic converters off.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was pretty pathetic.
Doesn't happen all over the state though.
Yeah, I know. Anyways,
So moving on, fuel possibilities down there. We're sort of,
You're dreaming,
huh?
you're dreaming.
Oh, maybe not, maybe
No,
not.
I think it'd be a good thing if we could, everybody wants fuel.
Well, and there's money in it.
Isn't there a fuel line already?
There's already a fuel line.
what?
Yeah.
A fuel line?
I think, from what I was told, that when they renovated down there, they renovated it in preparation for fuel tanks.
Right.
Where those fuel tanks are gonna go, I have no idea.
Well, there lies the question.
I never knew
So
that.
I don't know how big fuel tanks are, how unsightly, I don't know, you know, I'm thinking about aesthetics and eyesores and things like that. So I'm kind of glad that David's here, because maybe you could share a little information, what you know about fuel in your experience.
Yeah, so I operated the airport, FBO for a number of years. Of course, we sell fuel down there.
Oh, yeah, you
We can't hear you.
Oh, okay, where do you want me to go?
sit
The
right next to
owl
Larry.
wants to know who you are.
Okay, so can you hear me from here?
Perfect.
All right, great. I'm David Stapp, owner of Peregrine Turbine Technologies. And as I mentioned, I used to operate the FBO at the airport, Wisconsin Airport. So I do have a little experience with fuel sales, and the above ground tanks are very large, at least the ones at the airport. And of course, if you're providing fuel to commercial fishing vessels, you're gonna need some large tanks that I don't personally see any space for down at those docks right now. So there are other places along the shoreline that you could put a fuel service station. I think you and I discussed the potential for Birch Point being in place for that. And I think that's a good idea. If it was taken in a context of additional development, which of course the working group is trying to develop some master plan thoughts that you guys will review when we're done. So my thinking is that for public acceptance, you'd be best served to consider that option, the Birch Point option, than over anything else. I don't think you'll ever get it done downtown because the size of the tank would be just overwhelming for that space. It'd be a real strong visual statement, which nobody's gonna like.
How big are we talking?
Yeah.
Well, and I was trying to remember the size of the tanks we had at the airport. I think they've got to be, they're thousands of gallons, and I think they're probably like 5,000 gallon tanks, maybe 6, somewhere in that. I should go check that, but I don't off the top of my head know.
It's as big as this room?
It's, the tanks at the airport are about 2/3 the length of this room and about 10 feet in diameter, 8 to 10 feet in diameter. They're big,
That's big.
So they're kind of long and narrow.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
they have the room, they have.
at the airport, you got the room, and you
Sure.
have to have a lot of fuel at
Right.
the airport, so.
Does the co-op sell, they don't sell fuel, they have a truck come with fuel, right?
You're talking about
In
Westport, on Westport?
Yeah.
Yeah, from what I'm told, I only know what I've been told about that, and that is that they do sell fuel, but you have to call ahead,
Right.
and there's no service on the weekends, which is
Right, right.
kind of
Right.
Yeah.
just a little bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think Birch Point would be the best place to do that. And
Well,
the discussion.
Mason Station would be the perfect place to do
Yeah, when are you guys gonna take over that building?
it.
That'd be nice.
No kidding.
All right, that's all I got.
Okay, great. Thank you,
You
David.
need both gasoline and diesel, wouldn't you?
Ideally. It's a big commitment, fuel is, and I think it is any place to try to do it. If they've done it in the past for years, it's one situation, but to put in a brand new facility, oh my God, it'd be shocking what it would cost to do it. I think, but I'm guessing. It's simple, but I don't believe it is.
No, but it would be a nice revenue source and
Oh, yeah.
a good draw,
Someone's gotta deal with it too.
but someone has to deal with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so maybe more will be revealed as part of the working group's work. So. Alrighty, I don't have anything else. Anybody have anything else?
How many gallons most of these boats take?
I don't know, I know my boat took 40. I mean, a lot of those must take at least 150. And some of them take 1,000, you know.
You're talking diesel fuel land.
More, probably more diesel, but I used to buy gas, I used to buy a lot of it. And we used a 55-gallon drum with a pump on it, but it was an ordeal every time. We always went to Fairlander to do it. But to even do that now would be impossible if someone wanted to do it. So I know they would. We used to do it out of the back of the vehicle, you know, run a pump
Wow.
into the boat. But we did it and left, and that was the end of it, you know. But it was either that or go to Booth Bay. I think Booth Bay has a floating one. An actual float that has fuel on it. And how they do that, I can't even imagine. But anyways,
Huh.
I don't see it happening here soon, personally, but
Right.
just my opinion.
Alrighty. Anybody have anything else?
That's it.
We get a motion to adjourn? Right?
Yeah.
Lee, 4 of us, thank you.
It's a shame about the grants.
Yeah, but at least it's
Yeah,
still
I know.
moving forward.
I still think it's, the big problem is at the very end of it, the end, and it's,
Yep.
they gotta get something in there to stabilize that somehow. I envision.
You're talking about the grants?
Yeah,
It's all at the beginning, it's all
Really?
road, that's all.
yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, it's ruining,
So the drop off is not,
there's no drop off.
oh,
It goes right down, right into the dirt, there's no drop off.
Are you talking about the left ramp or the right ramp?
Either one,
Okay.
but the left ramp, looking at the left ramp, the state is saying it's too steep.
too steep.
Yeah. And, because it gets slippery down there.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
and at low tide, you back your boat all the way down there.
Yeah.
You can't get back up. She said anything over, 15% grade, vehicles struggle going back up, especially with it being slippery.
what is it at the Fairland, that grade, do you
I don't
know?
know, that's gonna be pretty steep too.
Yeah, it is.
But I don't know though, I just, either one of them, like my boat, when I get down there with my truck and my boat.
Right,
I get down, I'm facing the wrong way,
Yeah,
I'm facing the water.
Yeah.
And the parking lot's not big enough for me to turn things around,
right,
so I have to jig things around and.
it's pretty tight down there.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
And I don't, and the Fairyland is gonna be the same way.
Oh, yeah.
You drive down in.
Yeah.
And you're driving right towards the water, you got no way to. Because my boat, the boat, the truck, everything, I'm long.
Right.